Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Lucky Clover class to go. Today is Tuesday, March the, oh my gosh, 7th. It is the first Tuesday in March, which seems, I guess when the first is on a Wednesday, then yeah, the first Tuesday is going to seem like it's already pretty late in the month. So, the Lucky Clover bundle is the featured bundle this week on my blog and in the class to go. And I really debated whether or not to use this because the punch part of the bundle, so a bundle means that a stamp set and a punch or a stamp set and a set of dies uh, coordinate. They work together and they receive special bundled pricing. Well, the punch sold out early on, and we only have the stamp set available. But this, it punches out a clover, right? A four-leaf clover. This is not hard to fussy cut. So if you don't have the punch, that's fine. What we're doing today, you'll be able to fussy cut without any problem. Now, what does fussy cut meaning? Fussy cut simply means you're going to cut out a shape with your scissors. Anytime that you are fussy cutting, I recommend that you have small scissors like our paper snips. It will make your cutting much easier than it would if you were working with long, like kitchen scissors. So, um, I don't know what else I'm supposed to say except that I'm just going to switch cameras and we'll figure it out as we go, right? That's kind of how we roll here. But you notice I do have on my St. Patrick's Day necklace. I didn't wear my St. Patrick's Day shirt. I have on my Webb Wilder shirt today. My husband and I saw Webb Wilder in concert Sunday night and got a t-shirt and a poster and had a great time. So if you don't know who Webb Wilder is, then well, this is how you spell it. You can look him up. He is Americana is his style. All right, so here is the stamp set and the punch. So, but like I said, don't worry if you don't have the punch. It's okay. You can cut these images out really this large clover out really easily. But I used the St. Patrick's Day on all three of my card designs today, but you certainly don't have to. You could swap that up to a different greeting. It could be a happy birthday. My great grandmother's birthday was actually St. Patrick's Day. So, and oh, I guess I'll have to figure out how old she would be at this point. Okay, I'll have to do that math another day. It's not going to come to me quickly today. But you've got three clover images and then this kind of dancing clover here. And you've got good luck, sending luck and love, and a good friend is like a four-leaf clover, hard to find and lucky to have. So those are our images today. And you can see they're pretty casual, I guess, in their font. I wish they would tell us sometimes what the font is if it has a name, because we might like to do more of it, and I'm not very good at identifying them otherwise. The Lucky Clover bundle, oh my gosh, that's not a good sign, folks, is in the mini catalog. So we still have this catalog. Celebration is over, but the mini catalog is good through April. So we've got a few more weeks to enjoy this catalog, and we're going to. So this is on page 41, and the stamp set is $21. It's a red rubber stamp set, is a cling stamp, um, meaning that you mount the stickers, the labels on them, and it has a nice cushion by itself. Some fun samples here in the catalog, and then we have some fun samples that we're going to make today. And I was feeling kind of metallic today, which you'll understand in just a moment, and I'll show you kind of what I've chosen to work with. Let me show you the samples, and then I'll show you where you can find these kind of metallics that I was feeling today. Oh, I've lost my, okay, well, that's not good. This card has a bow or a knot and it has run away. So I hope it had it in the photos. Okay, well, we're going to show you how you make that anyway, so it's not the end of the world, but it sure is a puzzle. Um, that's too funny. Okay, so we have this card with crumb cake and garden green, and a garden green little knot here that's not here. Wonder where it went. I'll never find it on that rug. And then we have this card. Now, on this one, I used a gold foil, but I've also cut a copper foil because I kind of thought that would be neat too. And this is Granny Apple Green. And then the third one, we've used this lovely distressed gold cardstock and garden green again. And I really did toy with the idea of bringing in three different greens rather than repeating the garden green, but it didn't happen. So let's flip over to the specialty papers so I can show you where these metallics are. So in the annual catalog, in the big catalog on page 139, you'll find the distressed gold here. This is two sheets of 12 by 12 single-sided pieces of paper, specialty paper, for $5, two sheets of that. Then we have copper and gold, again, two single-sided 12 by 12 sheets in the gold and the copper. So two, darn, they're two gold sold together, and two copper sold together. It's not a mixture. Um, and then you have the silver foil, which is like three different shades of silver, the brushed metallic, and the rose gold as well. So, and then you have this kind of metallic. This has some texture to it. I I do have this. This is 6 by 6, but I don't know that I could lay my hands on it quickly enough to show it to you. But anyway, we're going to work with this distressed gold, gold, and copper today. And that's on page 139 if you haven't seen those before. That's where the specialty papers are. All right, what does the card kit look like? I keep thinking that little knot is going to just pop up any second. Um, so here are the card kits, although the ribbon is not in here, but it will be. So for the garden green and the distressed gold, you can see the labels for your greeting are cut, as well as the circles, the two sheets of distressed gold, and then you have two white for the inside of your card. And then this one is the one that will also have a little piece of ribbon. Okay, so it has the two sheets of white for the inside. It has four strips of DSP. This DSP is from the By the Bay packet, and I've got that here somewhere. You have a piece of scrap white, and you'll need a piece of scrap white for that other one as well. Two pieces of crumb cake, two pieces of garden green, and two strips of crumb cake for your greeting. It never fails. We get to this point. I'm like, oh yeah, the ribbon. Oh yeah, the scrap paper. Oh yeah, the something. Um, and then the third one. So in here, I have a sheet of both each one copper and one gold. Four pieces of white that are all the same size. Two that you'll need on the outside and two that you'll need on the inside. Here's a larger scrap of white. That's for your stamping and cutting or punching. And then these two guys layer together, and then you have a piece for your greeting. So a little bit of ribbon to be included. We're going to use some different bling on our cards today to give you kind of an idea of some of the options you have for adding a little sparkle as well. And okay, my nose has to run because that's some sort of unwritten rule between my brain and my nose that as soon as the camera goes on, my nose has to run. All right, here's this beautiful By the Bay paper. Okay, and it has all of these lovely blues and greens. It has some some shiny pieces to it, some shiny accents to it. That's not the correct term. Um, has some foil accents. It has some clear accents, but absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous paper. And this is actually the first time I think that I have used it. But isn't it just gorgeous? So those are all what we call the A side, and then the B sides. Um, or actually, I might have that mixed up. I might have some of the A's in with the B's, but usually one side has a specific pattern, and then the other side is more like this is probably a B side, except that it's got the foil to it. So, um, man, oh man, that's so, so pretty. So this piece that we used is, no, it's not that piece. Ah, okay. Um, the danger of going live is that anything can happen. Okay, so this is the other side of the wood grain that we used. I loved the wood grain paper that we've had in the past and have missed this. Hello, Denise. Good to see you today. Okay, doesn't want to go back in the package either. Shocking. Now that it's out, it wants to play. Is that how it goes? All right, set that over there. All right, so let's get started. And since this little guy needs a bow, we're going to start by fixing the bow for this one, and then we'll go ahead and do one for our card as well. All right, so I have the Pool Party Grosgain ribbon that is, I think it's Grosgain, that's in the mini catalog. And we're actually going to color it with the Granny Apple Green Stampin' Blend and um, turn it green instead of Pool Party. So we just need some little knots of this. Why am I coloring this? Well, right now I don't have a green ribbon that really works. But you can color your ribbon with alcohol, with the alcohol blends, the Stampin' Blends, and do a lot with them. If you don't have a green Stampin' Blend to do this, you can do it with a regular marker or even your ink pad. Just give it plenty of time to dry. You know, the alcohol markers, the alcohol ink dries really quickly, but the ink from your ink pad and your marker, your regular Stampin' Write marker, will take a little bit longer to dry. All right. I'm dying to open up my photos that I just took to see if my sample has the bow or not. I'm just going to tie a little knot like that and grab my ribbon scissors. Man, oh man, it would be so awesome if these came back in a catalog, wouldn't it? These scissors were a gift from me when I promoted to gold. My friend Carrie gave those to me. She's the one that introduced me to Stampin'. Okay, so there is the bow for that one, right, or the knot, all right? And we'll have another one. I'm not going to cut it just yet because if I do, I'll surely lose it. All right, let's find the pieces that we need for this card. Shuffle, shuffle. All right, here we go. And I've got lots of white over here, so I think this is the one that I need for inside. And then I've got to need a scrap piece. Okay, so what stamping are we going to do? We are going to stamp. Now this piece is not quite square. Okay, so it is longer than it is tall, but only by about 1/4 of an inch. Yeah, truly 1/4 of an inch. We need garden green ink. I've already got my stamps mounted to blocks. And I'm just gonna kind of take this little stamp of multiple clover, just kind of down on the diagonal, and I might want one more just there, even one more just there. And that's all we need from that. We're going to then stamp the greeting on a strip of crumb cake. And let's talk about how this is mounted for a moment. Can you see that there's very little red rubber beneath the greeting, but there's a good bit on the top? When I turn this over, the label doesn't reflect that at all, right? That just happens when they're cutting out, and that's why I tell you, before you stamp it, use your grid paper and your label and figure out where that's going to be. So I lined up my label on the line of grid paper, and you can see it's a good bit beneath that. So I need to aim a little higher than actually looks even. And I tell you every week that it is a trick to stamp. And you can see that's a little low, but I think that's just fine. It's pretty straight, and I'm okay with that. I'm going to clean those in just a second. I need to get out the large clover image. And okay, I'm going to use this. So I don't know if I need that for something else or not. So this actually had the little bunny rabbit from Playing in the Rain. And you'll see. And remember, when you are inking your stamps, it's just a gentle tap, tap, tap. If I sink this into my ink pad, I'm going to get ink in all of the areas where I want the detail to show. So I really want the ink just on top. So it's just a gentle tap, tap, tap. And then I know that my punch is angled just a little bit, and that should be fine. Just a little even pressure. And there we go. Now, I stamped this large clover again on the inside, so I'll go ahead and do that too. I really wanted to be more intentional with stamping the inside of my cards as well as my envelopes. So, as long as we're doing all the stamping at once, let's get an envelope from the envelope drawer, and let's stamp on it. And I think I had decided I just wanted to stamp a few of these across the back. Of the envelope. So there's the back, and we could do maybe one of the large ones in the corner. And this time we'll do it in the left-hand corner of the envelope. There you go. All right, that, whoops, y'all get over there. That is the stamping. Hello, Kay, good to see you. All right, now let's clean these little stamps. So I've got my trusted chamois here close, and my friend Tony is always really good about stamping off any excess before she brings it to her chamois, and that keeps her chamois a little cleaner. So we'll see if I can remember to do that. So I'm just stamping over here on my grid paper, because you can pick up, like I probably have already, picked up some of the color from the chamois and get your fingers really dirty. Some of that's inevitable. The chamois just rinses out, It does stain, but you can, as you rinse it, you can see that, the water starts to run clear. I've pulled out my in color grid paper that is retired, that's been on the clearance rack. Um, yeah, I think that is a good tip as well. I'm glad Tony shared that with me, and she even does it when she comes to class, so that's pretty sweet. All right, so we have our envelope, our inside. This piece we need to punch out. So actually, we talked about fussy cutting. Let me just show you what I mean when I say that this is pretty easy to fussy cut. All right, and I just kind of cut around at first. I'll get that out of the way. And then leave a little bit of a white border as you cut. Turn your paper, not your scissors. So if you don't have the punch, don't despair. Go ahead and get this lovely Clover stamp set and know that your scissors will work. Now, I have some people say, well, why didn't Stampin' Up have more punches? Why did it sell out and why isn't it coming back before the end of the catalog? Well, the Clover is pretty specific to St. Patrick's Day, I think is one feeling, and we can't get any more before that holiday comes and goes. The other thing is Stampin' Up plans the catalogs so far in advance. They do their best to capture trends, but and forecast demand, but sometimes we surprise them, don't we? And I think that's what happened with this Clover punch. And by the time they realized that they weren't going to have enough, they couldn't get enough either. So, but we fussy cut images without dies and punches, and so we can fussy cut this one as well. It's really not that hard. I didn't time myself, but I don't think that took any enormous bit of time. So, and you could touch it up if you wanted to, but I think that's pretty good. And let's see if we can't put these little pieces together. Oh, that little guy does not want to stay. Okay, so I'm actually going to put a little piece of glue, little dot of glue on that, and then put my bow down. It will take longer to set, but then it may be a better option for that particular bow now that I've colored it. All right, we're going to put these two together. It's kind of funny. I am typically a person who uses the glue much more frequently than I use the tape runner, the seal. But when the seal was first introduced, I had to get used to it so that I could teach my team and my customers how to use it. And I kind of just started using it more than I was. I was never a huge user of the snail. Okay, so these two strips of Designer Series paper are 5¼ inches long. So you get 4 of them to every sheet of that 6x6 DSP. Look at me doing math, huh? What do you know about that? And this is, I use my grid paper so much for helping me line this up. Sometimes nothing helps, but other times. It does really help. Okay, I'm going to put this on dimensionals. Look at that little rogue that was stolen over from there. We made cards after church Sunday. We are working to make Easter cards so that we'll have one to send to every family in the parish. Between the 10 people that were there, we got 26 cards made in, it had to be less than 2 hours, maybe right at 2 hours. So we'll have another session and make some more. Um, it was just so much fun. Get that there. Then we're going to get another dimensional, and just one in the center is fine. But you know, before I put that down, I need to put my greeting down. And you'll notice my strip is longer than it needs to be. That's because, you know, sometimes you stamp too far left or too far right. And I am actually going to put it down and then trim it. Now, ideally, I would have done that before I put it down to the card, but I think I can still do this okay. And if it fails, well, you'll know what not to do. Okay, so that's not perfect. Let's see if I get any better on this side. Okay, I think that's pretty good. All right, so then we're going to put this down at a bit of an angle, not too much. Well, we can go kind of like it that way. And then our ribbon that we've already, see, it got really stiff with it being colored, which I think is probably the challenge that the glue dot is having to hold it in place. I just want to scoot my knot down. And I pretty much do stick to my ribbon scissors. Okay. And we've learned that a glue dot isn't really going to hold that, so we're going to put a little bit of actual glue in just a second. I do hold my seal like this rather than this and do a light glide. I think that that does help most of the time. There we go. And a bone folder to just burnish that edge really well. And we'll add some glue right there and put the knot. And we can angle that a little bit. Actually, I'm going to turn it and go this way. And then after it's dry, I might trim that side just a little bit, or this side's really got a steep point. Okay, we need something there in the center. So let's take a look at our bling options. So I used these pastel adhesive back sequins on all three of my samples. You've got the small and you've got a little bit larger here. But I also pulled out champagne rhinestones because, and maybe that sounds crazy, but when they can look pretty gold. So I think that's what I'm going to use on this one. And then I have even another option for the cards. So there is this one with the champagne rhinestone, and I'm going to be kind of gentle because I need that glue to set. Actually, I'm going to put a block on top of it to help just apply a little bit of pressure. Okay. Now, if I don't put those back, I won't know where they are in a few moments. Okay. Let's do this card next, this gold distress. And there are a few different ways that you could achieve this look. Because you've got this layer of garden green underneath, you could actually cut the circle, the larger circle, from the gold, and then this green would actually be the green layer beneath. Um, I opted to go with a circle because it would be easier for me to get it centered, than run it through the die cut machine to get it in the right place. But you could do either one. This gold distressed paper I really really like, and it went back order pretty quickly when it was first introduced, but it is. I'm pretty sure it's available now. I did not check this morning, but I stamped on the inside. Um, okay, so thanks, Denise. Um, she likes that. Denise says she likes that champagne rhinestone. Um, so I stamped on the inside that a good friend is like a four-leaf clover, hard to find and lucky to have. I have somebody on my team that is amazing at finding four-leaf clovers. Um, I talked to her just a few minutes ago. She's got some crazy knack for just hunting them out. So what do we need for this one? Really just has a few pieces here. All right, we have a white layer for inside, the white circle, the green circle. These three shapes are all cut from the Stylish Shapes. Those were not orderable for a while. They are back in stock, so you can get your hands on them pretty easily. Another piece, we've got garden green as our base this time. And remember, you don't have to use a lot of adhesive. Your paper isn't going to go through a windstorm, hopefully. Last Friday might have been the exception to that. It was pretty fierce winds. Right. Then these two just get adhered together. Just leaving about an even border around the circle. And that looks pretty even. Then we'll burnish that pretty well. And then this one I did not put on dimensionals because I kind of wanted it to have that look of, hey, is the gold paper cut or is it a green layer? And if I'd put it up on dimensionals, it would have been pretty clear that it was a green circle. But I wanted your eye to have a workout. Suddenly I'm having a workout with my seal. So I've planned out the next several weeks, the classes to go. I'm pretty excited about that. And we're going to do the Rejoice in Him. I don't know, that might be next week, or might be the week after. It's one of the upcoming weeks. All right, so we'll just rub that and get it good and stuck. Then we need to stamp the inside as well as our greeting. So both greetings, I guess, and a clover that we're going to punch out. So on this, so we have our greeting here. Hey, Jeannie, you snuck in too. All right, so I'm just going to see how this label is laid out. It looks pretty even, but that doesn't mean that my label is in the right place. So using the label, I'm going to try and line that up on the grid paper and see where it is. Oh, and it was going up and to the right a little bit. So let's see if I can get that a little bit better. I think that time I got too far. Oh, that's pretty good. Okay. It's not like anybody is going to pay that close attention. When you're stamping, remember that not to rock your stamp. You want to come straight down and stamp straight and lift straight up. If you have gotten ink on the edges of your red rubber and you rock your stamp, that is when you get what we call halos. Right, so that's the inside. Now our greeting. And remember, my particular stamp is placed low on this red rubber. So I need to take it a little higher than it might look like I should. I think that's pretty darn good. All right, I'm good with that. And then we need to stamp a clover to punch out. So I'm going to tilt it. It's not quite completely straight in the punch, so let's see how that is. And then, you know, we did our envelope on the first one. Should we stick to being that good, right? Am I gonna be boring and just do it the same way? I think it'll fit a bit of an angle there. That's pretty. And I like it down here as well. Okay, so we've done our envelopes. Put that back and clean up our stamps a little bit. I keep my chamois in a stamp case. You can get stamp cases. I think they're sold in a set of 4. I have one chamois that is cut up for use with the Stamparatus, and then I have more than one that is not. That makes it handy for class. Maybe we can avoid getting ink on ourselves when we have like these greens. You can have green fingers for a while. Some special things in March. So we are going to have a fundraiser on April the 1st benefiting the Foundation Fighting Blindness, and we're going to make the wreath kit. I'm still working out the time. It's in person in Gallatin at Susan Freese's home church, which I can't think of the name of right now. I will have the wreath frame already painted black. You'll get some ribbon with your kit. Okay, where are you? This is the one. Okay. And they're adorable. So that is not completely posted on the website yet. I've just put out the save the date. The fee will be $30 and $10 from each kit will be donated to the Foundation Fighting Blindness. Kind of near and dear to our hearts. There's also a Memories and More class that will be posted this month. Put this on dimensionals. both of these. And it is a gorgeous class. My mother has tried to take my samples more than once. Um, I've had this available for a while. If we have enough time, I'll try to remember to show you those cards. The birthday class this month is featuring the Queen Bee. That bundle is on not orderable status right now, but it comes back, I believe it's the week of St. Patrick's Day, which is not too much longer. Card Club is going to feature the beautiful Thistle bundle. We'll put that there. Okay, so we use the champagne rhinestone on the first. I've got the pastel backed adhesive back sequins on all of my samples. I thought, what about this, these adhesive back milky dots, this kind of goldish color here. I've got a sequin stuck to the back of my package. Let's see what we think of this. And I think one of the big ones. I kind of like that. What do you guys think? So there is the milky dot, and then let me pull up the one that has the sequin. So, got a preference? Options, right? It's always good to have options. So get that out of, that is card 2. All right, card 3 has the 3. Oh, thank you for sharing some love. That's lovely. We've got 3 clover that we're going to do. This sample uses the gold foil, and on the one we're going to make together, we're going to use the copper foil and see how we like that. All right, so we have our card base, we have an inside piece and an outside piece. They're the same size because it's just too easy to use the wrong one and then you're stuck with one that's either too small. That would be the one that's the problematic one, right? So anytime we have a white outside and inside, I try to make them the same size to reduce error. All right, so layered those together. That is not straight, but I'm not going to lose a lot of sleep over it. If it lifts up, it lifts up, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. All right. Okay, what did I do with my copper? Ah, I was like, I know I had it. I just showed it to you. And I'm going to get this out of the way just so that I can work with my grid paper a little bit more. Although it's just 1/8 of an inch difference. So, and then you get the reflection at play. And I feel like it's okay. Put this down, and I'm not going to put that on dimensionals. So this is something that I can do with this particular grid paper that I can't do with the others. And that is to create a border with the colors like that. Somehow that's helpful to me. Now this is going to be so 1/4 up and 1/4 in. So not terribly difficult. Then this comes down as well, and it's about the same thing. I've got a wider space down here that I'm going to use. that's where our greeting will go. But again, it's going to be 1/4 and 1/4. So I'm trying to use this line and then this line. And then down here, doesn't really work out. And it needs to be a little bit more than 1/4. I actually think I've got 3/8 difference, which the grid paper really isn't going to help us with. Okay, so this is for our inside. Let's stamp our greeting and our clover. We're going to use Granny Apple Green for this one. Open up my ink. And oh, I just thought I was going to stamp the greeting and then I just picked up the clover. Ay, ay, ay. And I know that this needs to come at a slight angle. Oh, my head's not in the way. Okay. I think that's the 3 of them. And then this is a little wider, but again, long. We could, let's see if this will fit. We could do sending luck and love and then put a little clover on each side of it just to mix things up, right? All right, again, we need to see first how it stamps. All right, so, and I do need to kind of center this. And the way I stamped that one, I kind of lined up the bottom of the red rubber with the, and that's absolutely fine. Now I'm going to grab the little clover and just do a little clover on each side. I felt like I needed to stretch that out a little bit. I'm going to close this. I'm not quite sure what to do on the inside of the envelope yet. We may have to come back to those. Well, it looks like this class is running a little long too. I thought it would be faster. That's, okay. We'll punch our clover and then I will punch the edges of that. I'll flag the ends. I do not flag with scissors. I'm not good at that. I'm very glad that there is a punch I'm able to use. Whoops. Okay, that shifted. When I am punching, yes, I hold it upside down. I hold it just far enough compressed to line it up before I press it the rest of the way down. So I do a line that I compress. I'm looking for the even white space around my image. So yes, punching is definitely faster than fussy cutting, but fussy cutting is very doable with this stamp too. All right, that's that punch. And then let's do the edges of this one. So this punch has these trays that help us get the strip evenly. The cardstock just fits in half an inch, 3/4 of an inch, and an inch. At least I think that's correct. All right, so what are we thinking? Are we liking the copper or the gold? Can you tell? It might be hard to tell with the glare too. Um, Come on, pick up. The dimensionals really want to grab hold of that foil and stick. So that's the good news. It's also the bad news. Now, since I've got copper foil on this one, should we use the champagne rhinestones? And let's see what color they pick up. I feel like I should. Nope, don't stick to that. I'm not pressing these down too hard in case I need to shift them around a little bit. Okay, I'm all right with that. So I'm thinking not to the gold. The one on the right needs to be shifted, you think? Um, I think the champagne. Let's see how we like the champagne. Okay, so we can shift the one on the right a little bit. It doesn't want to shift. Oh my gosh. That one was seriously stuck. Like use another dimensional stuck. I like it there a little bit more. Okay. I like the big rhinestone. And I guess clover really doesn't have a center like that, does it? Oh, should we put some tiny ones down here? What the heck? All right, so I I really like that copper. I know that that's not a pot of copper at the end of the rainbow, but I really like that. Okay, so I did not do the inside. I've just left it blank because we're tight on time. But let's pull out the three that we made. So here's this one. Let's get it in camera. So these two, scoot over, and then this one. So there are our cards for today. It's a pretty fun St. Patrick's Day celebration. I'm just going to really quickly show you this Memory and More class. Because we tend to think of the Memories and More cards, note cards and envelopes as there's no stamping. So it's It's not, I don't know. I think sometimes we don't give them a fair shake. And I want to show you if I can find them where they might be. Page 136. So this class uses the Today is the Day Memories and More card pack. So it's got 4x6 decorated cards, two sides, 3x4 cards. It's got stickers with it. So it is fun and bright. And then the class will also include the ribbon, the card bases, and some iridescent pearls. Um, and I've only got 15 of these. So once I advertise it, it'll be, first come, first serve. But here's one. And actually, I need to kind of keep them. And here's two. So very happy. And then a lot of these are decorated on the inside. Of course, the first two are not. But of course, the black one gets a card on the inside as well. And has this frame. So, like I said, my mom has taken these. She's tried to take these multiple times. This has a black frame around it as well, and a little mother of pearl butterfly. How fun is this one? I've got a bad lighting. So this ribbon goes around that label. Life is short and it's up to you to make it sweet. We've added a little punched cherry on this one. It doesn't feel like it. So you've got lots of cards left over so that you can add cards to the inside. The little hearts are all done for you. And then has this on the inside. Go confidently in the direction of your dreams. This is a bit of a fun fold here. Hello, sweet pea. Love you. 365, 24/7. Today is your day. Make a wish. And then we've got a little decoration on the inside. And then happiness blooms from within. And a little area for your message here. So this is pretty cool. The die cutting is done for you. You'll have some trimming to do to trim the cards down, the 4x6 cards down. But then you get to decorate and have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 cards will be prepped for you. So that will be available. I have got 15 of them. So, all right, everybody, thank you so much for being here today. Since I'm still pointing down, I'm just going to grab these and pull them back over. Thanks for spending some time with me today. I hope you have a lovely day, and I'll see you back next week for next week's class to go. Remember, you can get the card kit and make 2 each of these cards with a $35 purchase in my online store by end of day Friday of this week. Thanks so much for being here, and I will see you again next week. Bye-bye, everybody.